He experienced hell of a life as he spent 24 years with this giant tumor which totally ruined his life, making him live a jobless life, and he ended up being abandoned by the wife whom he loved the most. Some people suggest it's due to witchcraft and others think it's a punishment from God. But what made the man's leg swell and swell up to this extent? How do the society treat the man, and how does he manage to make a living? Today we're in Buguruni, Tanzania, and this man shares with us his life story.
Mimi nimezaliwa nikiwa kawaida, sina tatizo kama hilo.
35-year-old Mashaka Kasim was born in Morogoro and was born healthy without any illness. He was a good boy who had a lot of big dreams, but the man's health condition drastically changed after turning 11 years of age. The little man by then was in primary 6, and that was in 1998 when everything changed, and he was about to experience a very painful life ahead. It was one day when he was on the pitch playing football with other children of his age, and all of a sudden children noticed something strange and started screaming, asking him if he was okay, as the leg had started swelling. When he checked it out, the 11-year-old by then was shocked. Luckily enough, both his parents were still alive and thought it was not a big deal due to the fact that he had no any other illness. Parents did everything possible to see whether their son could recover and get back to his normal, hence visiting different hospitals, from one hospital to another, but still no treatment. They then went to different churches, hoping to see if there could be a pastor or prophet that would perform a miracle, but that too never worked out. And lastly, the man was taken to some traditional doctors who promised to be his last hope. But all was in vain, and from that day he realized he was meant to suffer. The man later grew and came to Dar es Salaam in search for a living, and luckily enough, he got a job as a conductor, as the leg had not become this big as it is today, which could let him work and earn a living. He worked as a conductor for more than 10 years, which is the only job he has ever done in his entire life. As any other man after growing and having a job, the rest was to bring in a wife. He got married and produced one child. But the man's leg kept swelling, and the more the leg swelled, the more painful it was, and the poor man could no longer go back to work and only depended on the wife. The wife was not patient enough, as after seeing the man failing to work for month and month, yet they needed a lot as a family, instead of being there for him, she rather gave up on the man and abandoned him after only 5 years together. Yet they had vowed that only death would do them apart. Unfortunately, the leg tumor did them apart. The wife was clear. She left him due to this illness, as Kasim was no longer capable of sustaining and feeding the family. She later got married to another man, and to make matters worse, she never went far from here, as she lives next to this neighborhood, as they often meet. In a sorrowful way, the man says the ex-wife is now only a friend since she married someone else, and due to life struggles with his health condition, he does not intend to bring in another wife. Back to the man's illness. When asking experienced doctors, he was told that here in Tanzania, his treatment is impossible, except advanced treatment from abroad. For this reason, there's one hospital in India which they contacted and sent the man's document and pictures showing his illness. One of the senior doctors at the hospital said he can be treated, and the whole treatment process needs a staggering $7,500. And that was a heartbreaking story to the 35-year-old who even struggles to afford food daily since he no longer works. All he did was asking friends, families and anyone to help him contribute. But due to being born and finding himself in a poor background, no one contributed, and the man almost gave up. There's when the leg aches too much that walking and sleeping fails. When such happens, he looks for some painkillers that reduces the pain. But last year, the leg developed some wounds, making him have fears that the leg might be having some cancer, which decreases the man's hope. It's now been 24 years since suffering from this condition, and up to this present day, he does not know what exact illness he's suffering from. Due to visiting too many places looking for the cure, some different people go on giving different opinions, some suggesting that maybe the illness was caused by a certain mosquito, others saying it's witchcraft and more. He adds that some people have always added negative comments, but he remains strong and moves on because each and everyone has their different opinions, many of them which hurts and breaks the man's heart. Like those who think it was a punishment of having committed adultery, yet he was a kid when this happened. He thinks that the fact that God allowed this to happen to him means God knew it, and it's all God's plan. If God wishes, he will recover. If not, the worst of all might happen, and he is ready for both. As a person who has many responsibilities, like raising his one and only child, plus paying rent due to having no own house, and even affording the daily food, means that life is difficult for someone like him who also does not work. Being the reason, he's here requesting to get money for treatment. And you can help the man get advanced treatment and save his life by contributing on the Giving Lives link, found in description and pinned in top comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.